Okay, it's back. Okay, we studied about cooling by evaporation, and we studied that liquids evaporate when fast-moving molecules escape. And we said that evaporation cools the liquid because the energy will decrease in the liquid. Evaporative coolers transfer energy from air to liquid to cool the room. So in old days, they were using towel on the window or on the open door to cool the place. Now we study about, or today we will study about the world's energy needs. If you heard someone is talking about the world's energy needs, what they are talking about exactly? Are they talking about food or what exactly?
No, like coal.
The resources.
Sorry?
Like gas, diesel was considered, I guess, right?
Yeah, they are talking
water.
They are talking about the energy itself that we are using every day in our lives, okay? Without this energy, it could be hard to live. We will be in the dark ages, okay? So we have in this world, we have primary and secondary energy sources. Can you tell me what are the primary energy sources? They were using them in all earlier. Old time. What are these primary? What?
Water. Water.
Sunlight.
Okay.
Sunlight.
Sunlight.
Fuel.
What kind of fuel? These are that you are biofuel, like what? What are these?
Like
wood.
Wood.
The fossil. Did they use fossil fuels?
No, not fossil fuels. No. They were using coal. They were using oil also. What else?
They use sunlight, like the heat.
Okay, wind also. They were using wind.
Yeah.
Okay, and they were using something called geothermal. Do you remember the geothermal energy? The energy comes from the hot rocks under the ground.
From the earth?
Yeah, from underground. They were using this geothermal. This comes from the hot rocks under the ground, okay? So these are the primary sources, okay? So primary and secondary sources. We will come into the secondary sources. These primary sources can be used to, or can convert into secondary sources, okay? So let's together. When people talking about the world's energy needs, they are talking about the primary energy sources like coal and secondary energy sources like electricity. So we can generate electricity using coal in power stations or using gases, or we can use, also generate electricity using winds and using water also. So these are secondary sources, which is the electricity, and the primary ones that we are using them from like old days, okay? Some primary sources can be found in the ground, like the oil, such as oil, gas, and uranium. This uranium is, they call it nuclear.
We studied about it in the photo extraction lesson.
Yeah, okay, and other sources like wind, water, and biomass. Okay, guys, can you remind me what is the biomass here?
Yeah, it's the material that the tree plant uses, or living thing uses to build itself, something like that.
So the biomass here means the wood. Okay, the biomass here means the wood or tree, the wood from the trees, okay? So here, these sources are in the environment around us. All are these in the environment around us, but the other ones like oil, gas, and uranium underground, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And coal is also used to generate electricity in power stations. Since old days they were using coal, not the gases, okay? And electricity as an example of a secondary source. So why the electricity is an example of secondary source? If we are using coal, if we're using coal, so coal is the primary to create or generate electricity. Electricity is a power or is an energy we are using now. So this is the first one that can convert into this secondary one. That's why they are calling it secondary source of energy. Is it clear?
Yes, it's clear. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Clara, good morning.
Good morning.
Okay, here, some primary sources such as coal can be used directly to heat homes or cook food. And coal is also used to generate electricity in power stations. So we can use it in electricity in power stations, or we can use it at homes to generate heat, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Electricity is a secondary source, example of secondary source. Why? Because it has been produced using the primary source. As we were saying, the coal is the primary one, and we produced electricity using this primary one, so this electricity is a secondary, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Energy converters such as power stations produce secondary sources such as electricity. So here the converters of these primary sources are the power stations. So if we convert this primary source using a converter, we can produce a secondary source. Is it clear?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
We have something called refineries. We studied this before, the refineries. Can you remind me what is the refinery?
Yes, I remember.
Okay, what is the refinery?
It's like when you
I cannot remember this.
Sorry?
Did we take it like with another word or something?
Yeah, with the crude oil.
Yes, exactly, the crude oil, but I didn't know like what does it produce that next.
What is the refinery? We are using the refinery to extract the useful
Useful fuels. Yes,
fuels
useful
or
fuels.
gases, okay, from the crude oil.
Oh, crude oil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, thank you, Matasam. It's energy produced, not energy, no, not energy. It's a refinery, it's a converter that convert the crude oils so we can extract the oils such as the petrol, gasoline, or gas. Okay, we can extract it from the crude oil. Okay. Yes, petrol. Okay. We have sources of energy. We all know that we have two kinds of sources of energy. We have renewable and we have non-renewable. Can you tell me what's the meaning of renewable?
I thought it was like something that you can produce it again, but then I read the paragraph and it said something that you can like change it quickly, like you won't run out of it, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't that you can use it again.
It's Sorry? Like the same thing, like you can produce more and faster.
Yeah, we can replace it. We can replace it. We can produce more of it quickly. Okay.
Yeah, but I thought it means like something that you can use it again and again over and over.
No, no, we cannot use it again. Okay, most of people thought that these resources or renewable sources, we can use them again. Actually, if we used coal, okay, we cannot reuse it again. It will turn into ash. We cannot reuse it, but we can replace it. We can grow more food. We can turn it into coal and we can use it again. Okay, so this is the meaning of renewable. Okay, for example, water. Okay, we can use water to generate electricity, but we cannot use it again because it runs out from us. Okay, but we can replace it. We can get more of it. Okay, so renewable sources such as wood and we can get more of it as quickly as we need. But here, the non-renewable such as coal, okay, oil, gas, and uranium, we cannot get more of it. Okay, for example, the coal. The coal, if it runs out, we cannot get it again, but we can turn the wood into coal. Okay, some of the wood we can turn it into coal. And here, they run out, but we cannot get more of them. For example, oil. If the ground if we cannot get more oil from under the ground, how can we grow oil again? We cannot grow oil again. Okay, even the gas, if we run out from the gas, we cannot get gas again. So that's why they call them non-renewable. Most of the renewable sources, they are natural, like something from the plants, okay? Something we can grow again. We can use it, such as wood. Okay?
Because sunlight.
Sunlight also, okay? The problem is the gas takes millions of years to be produced or to form. The crude oil, so from the fossil, so it will take time and we cannot replace it quickly. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. How are the world's energy needs changing? Okay, now we talked about the energy, renewable and renewable. In our days, the needs for energy changed by the time, okay? Years ago, most people in the world were using primary energy sources like wood or coal. There has been a huge increase in the use of non-renewable energy sources like coal, oil, gas, and uranium. So in old days, they were depending on wood, even the trains, for example, they were using coal to run the trains, right?
Yeah.
They were using water from the dams, okay, to generate the electricity. So they were using the primary sources. The problem is they started to use the non-renewable ones, okay, and they increased the energy of this, the needs for this energy increased by the time, such as the oil, gas, and uranium. And these are non-renewable. If they cannot like take care of it or using them wisely, we cannot replace them, okay? Then, yes?
For the natural like resources such as water and wind, why don't people use it? Although it like gives you the same results, you can get electricity by water and wind, but they don't use water and wind. Why do they use the non-renewable stuff and they affect the nature? Like
some governments and some people, they can get to the easy way, okay? Actually, if you want to use winds and water, you need to build very big dams and you need a source of water such as sea, the rivers, okay? The very strong stream, okay? They need a hill also. They need a hill, not just from the sea. If the water comes down from the hill, it will generate electricity because it's moving fast, okay? So most of the governments, they can find it easy to use the oil and especially gases, okay, to run power stations, okay, other than building dams and like being helpful to the nature. That's like, this is like most of people, they are thinking like this. They are not using the water, or they not building, because these needs to take care of it more than the power stations. Okay. Okay, so here the use of biomass,
Miss?
such as, yes,
Miss, where do we get the gas from?
from underground.
Where do we get the gas from?
Underground. The petrol, when you,
Underground where?
in the deserts, in the sea, deep, very deep levels. You know, here
So
we
like
have,
the gas is extracted from the petrol?
yeah, from the crude oil, we can get the petrol, gas, or gasoline. Or like we call
Okay.
oil, okay? So here, the use of biomass such as wood has stayed the same. So by the time, just a second, please. By the time we said the needs for the down very deep, yeah, very deeply under the ground. So the changing of the first, they were using, there has been a huge increase in using these non-renewable sources. The biomass, which is the renewable sources, has stayed the same, okay, level. It didn't change by time, but the use of renewable sources like wind and water has stayed the same, or sorry, not the same, is very small. People didn't use the wind or water for like years. No, now they started to use the non-renewable sources more and more. Here we have a chart in the book.
Oil is the most used.
Okay,
Right.
here. Look at this chart, okay? Here we have the green, wind, water, and solar, which is the sun energy, okay? We have the nuclear energy, which is the uranium underground. We have hydro, which comes from water. We have gas, oil, coal, and biomass wood, okay, for each color. The least ones, yes?
Can you like make it like 100% nearer, because I can't see the writing.
I cannot. I cannot like move it more than this. You mean I need it to minimize?
Yes, this one, yes.
You want me to minimize it like this?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you see it all?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so we have here the biomass here stayed the same. It didn't change, okay? The coal here increased a little, here the coal increased, oil increased, gas increased. The smallest here is the wind, which is the green one, okay, and the brown one, the nuclear, and the hydro, okay? So the three sources of energy, the gas, oil, and coal, they increased by time from 1850 till 2000 years, okay, this is the years. Here they increased by this amount, okay? And we have another chart. Let me close this. Oh, sorry. Okay, this is the world's changing energy. The needs for energy. Okay, by the time even, this chart shows predictions for the demand for electricity in 2030. A kilowatt hour is another unit of energy. We have the watt for electricity, right? Or energy from electricity. We have another unit, we can use it for the demands of electricity, which is how many kilowatt in hour, how many electricity or how many energy comes from electricity. We can use it, okay, how many kilowatt in just 1 hour we are using it. So here in 2000, this is a prediction, in 2030, the needs for electricity will be 3,600,000 joules. This is too much, okay? So here, both these charts, they are secondary data. Guys, why do we call them secondary sources, or why do we call them secondary data?
Because they're collected by other people rather us.
Yeah, we didn't collect them by ourselves. If we collect them, if we made this chart, or if we made the values, or if we collected these informations by ourselves and we wrote them by ourselves, we call them a primary data. But if they are secondary, that means we took them from another place, whether it is the book or the internet or any source. So here the chart is showing you prediction for the demand of electricity in UK, in Russia, and Middle East. So most of the developed countries, they are using, or they demanding the electricity more than the poor or the medium, not poor or medium countries.
Okay. UK uses more than a whole continent, like Africa?
Yeah. UK.
Like Africa.
UK is not just like England. No, it has another like countries. This is the United Kingdom, all the United Kingdom, Holland, other countries, not just like England. No.
Yeah.
Okay, so UK is big. But here, Russia is bigger, but they are using, they are demanding the demand for electricity is less than UK. Most of these countries are productive countries. They produce a lot. They have factories. They have a lot of production. So that's why they need this energy a lot. Okay. Okay, so this was all about the energy, the world's energy needs. I will show you this table is about the primary energy sources, okay? So the primary ones we have here, the coal, oil, natural gas, sunlight, uranium, wind, water, which is the tides lifting water up, okay? The tides also, they are using the tides for generating electricity. Biofuels such as wood or waste, geothermal using thermal energy from under the ground. We have primary energy, which is power station generators, such as wood, solar cells, refineries. We have the hydrogen gas production. The secondary sources, we can generate electricity from them. We can get fuel, such as petrol, gasoline, and hydrogen gas. We can get them by these converters, okay, by these converters. So these are secondary sources. So from the primary source, we can convert them into this secondary source. Is it clear?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the summary of all this lesson is that the primary energy sources are coal, oil, gas, and uranium. We have secondary energy are the electricity and the fuels such as the gasoline here. Okay, these are the secondary sources. We have non-renewable sources will run out, but renewable sources will not. And also the last part that we talked about, the demand for primary energy sources needed to generate electricity is increasing rapidly. So why it's increasing rapidly? Because people or countries or all over the world, they're using these sources a lot. They need this energy a lot, and they are consuming this energy a lot. So that's why the needs for generating electricity is increasing all over the world. Okay. So next time we will study about fossil fuels. Okay, how can we get fossil fuels and the fossil fuels in power stations and the effect of these fossil fuels. Okay, do you have any questions about this?
No.
Okay.
No.
Did you start to solve the revision questions as I said?
I solved a couple of questions.
Okay, I need you to start solving them, biology, physics, and chemistry, please, okay?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Guys, see you next time. Bye-bye.
Okay, have a good day.
Bye.
Bye.